All right, let's move on to headline number 3. So TikTok has reportedly halted its live e-commerce TikTok Shop initiative in the United States and the UK. According to the Financial Times and TechCrunch, after launching TikTok Shop in the UK last year, the effort has failed to gain traction. People familiar with the matter told the Financial Times that the expansion plans have been abandoned after influencers dropped out of the project in the UK, and the venture struggled again to gain traction with users. A TikTok employee told the Financial Times that general consumer awareness and adoption is still quite low in the UK, as many TikTok Shop live
That's
streams,
the hardest thing to say of all time.
Achieved poor sales despite efforts to encourage brands and influencers to sell through the app. Chris,
yes,
this is also the A&M put you on the spot question of the week.
Of course
so
it is, yes.
They want me to say TikTok Shop about 15
TikTok
more
Shop.
times.
TikTok Shop.
But they also want to know, here's what they had to say. We're unclear where any confidence to take TikTok Shop to the U.S. after its struggles so far in the U.K. would come from. So given what we know about the typical TikTok user and how they engage with content, what do you think is a better way for CPG brands to generate commerce on TikTok than this QVC-style live stream mechanism?
Oh, man, that's such a good question. Such a good question, especially given the content that we've been focused on here at OmniTalk, which has all been about live streaming and shoppable video of late. We've done as much content on that as anyone. My first take, though, too, before I get to that question, my first take is I'm a little skeptical of this article. Like, I'm a little skeptical. The journalism's honestly a little light on this. And I'm curious.
Shots fired to Financial Times and TechCrunch.
I mean, it is. Like, I'm a little curious if they're following the headline here, but, I don't know. But so let's take it at face value.
Okay.
And now let's answer the question. So, to me, my advice to brands would be the thing that's happened with this whole conversation, we talked about it a lot, Ann, is live streaming and shoppable video have been confused and brought in together as one topic. Mm-hmm. Whereas I don't think in the American market and probably in the UK market too, I don't think it's going to be as much about live streaming. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think it's going to be as much as about QVC, because there's so many dynamics that are different from us versus the Asian market. And so my advice would be take a page out of Vincent Yang at Fireworks book as a CPG and create just great video content. Mm-hmm. Make the video content shoppable. It doesn't have to be live. It can play in live time when you visit the CPG website or the retailer's website or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the cool thing about that is that's where you want your traffic to go. And it's very easy to then farm that out to all of the different social media platforms that are out there. So it's essentially doing the same thing, but it captures the audience in a different way. It's the eyeballs to your site in a different way. And I think that just is the right approach versus trying to do something like actual QVC style live streams in these platforms. It just doesn't make sense. That's step one. If you want to go to that later, that you can. But again, I would argue you should do that from your own site and then do almost like simulcast it or rebroadcast it through these social media platforms to get the continued engagement. But what do you think? You're much more the aficionado on this subject than I am.
Well, I think it's important to call out again that, in the US, we use social for a different purpose than they do in Asian markets, especially in China and the success that they're seeing there. And I think that it's important, as you're calling out, there's still a need for these social channels. But we interviewed Jeff Lucas from Firework last week, and one of the things he was saying, the average consumer spends 1.4 seconds on that content. They're not spending. You need more engagement. You need deeper engagement with the product for people for live shopping to take off. So I think that the value, to answer A&M's question, the value, like you said, is to host the content on the retailer or CPG site. It gives it a longer lifespan. I mean, that was one of the biggest complaints. It hasn't drawn audiences. They haven't seen the numbers take off from this, but they're not going to. It's just not it's not the setting for that. You still need the social networks to help drive traffic to the sites, or to take repurposed content from the content that you have on your own site. But ultimately, if you want that good shopping experience, you have the confidence in what you're buying is verified, it's authentic product. You have a much better experience doing that on the retailer's or CPG's website. And I think that's really the focus here. It does not need to be done in the social shopping platform, which I'll admit we might have to eat crow on that, because I remember when Instagram shops, Facebook shops, TikTok shops, everything was coming out. We're like, this is the next big thing. This is exactly how it's going to go. I don't know that we're going to see that that's going to transpire successfully, or that's going to scale successfully in the U.S. market.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing, is that the nuance matters, which is what I kind of joked about in the beginning, is the context is important here. Like, we got to be careful of the terms that we use in these discussions, which is why I fought hard for omnichannel retailing for so many years. Like, the key thing here is shoppable video first and foremost.
Yep.
Right? That's the important thing. You want to do a live stream? Do it on your own website, because a live stream someone has to engage with. They have to schedule the time to be there at that time for that extended period of time.
Right.
Do it on your website. Let it live organically, however you want, through whatever platform. And that's the key to me here, which, I don't think a lot of people understood. And I think, honestly, that could still be wrong to some degree too. But I think it's what we've learned through our conversations with the people that really get this.
Yeah, absolutely.